Hey there, fellow wanderers. Imagine, if you will, the early morning chill of a medieval town. The air is thick with the earthy scent of damp clay and wood smoke. Fog curls low along the cobblestone streets, refusing to rise. Overhead, grey clouds huddle together, hiding the sun. You walk through this hushed world where time is measured by the tolling of bells, not the ticking of clocks. This is your life as a medieval carpenter. A life of sawdust, splinters, and ceaseless work. Outside, the village is just beginning to stir. Chickens rustle, hooves clack faintly on stone, and a blacksmith's anvil rings out like a heartbeat. Your workshop is dark and cramped more, an extension of your home than a separate place. Sawdust clings to your lungs. The tang of wet timber and rusted nails seeps into your skin. This is not a fairy tale. This is labor that bites back. So before we dive deeper, I ask only this. If this kind of raw, unvarnished truth speaks to you, click like, hit subscribe, and leave a trace of yourself in the comments. Tell me your city, your time, your state of mind. Now, dim the lights. Let the hum of your fan blend with the wind of centuries past. Let's begin. And remember, in medieval times, even survival was a luxury. Your fingers graze over the rough surface of an oak log, your eyes tracing the intricate patterns of its grain as the dim lamplight throws flickering shadows across its surface. This piece of wood holds the promise of life as a stool or perhaps a sturdy chest. Each instant catalogued by the slow progress of the sun outside your workshop until its warm beams sneak in, illuminating motes of dust caught lazily in the air. As a medieval carpenter, your role is pivotal yet often overlooked. You are the artisan of necessity, constructing the very framework upon which daily life, from the lowliest hovels to the grandest manors, is built. Furniture, roofing, even the wheels that keep the wagons rolling, these are your handiwork, built by the sweat of your brow. Yet, despite the indispensable nature of your trade, the rewards are few. The labor is heavy, measured in precise cuts and skilled handiwork. In a world where the elements and the earth hold more dominion over time than any human clock. With every swing of the mallet, your muscles scream in unison with the chorus of complaints of knees long past their prime. And amid this back-breaking toil, there's scant room for error. A miscalculated cut can mean the difference between a crafted piece and wasted material, and you must make every sliver of wood count. Peek outside and see your neighbors bustling, their lives a mirror of your own. Clothing, frayed and patched, is a testament to the narrative of labor and survival. Carpenters occupy an essential niche in this world, an ecosystem where every trade and every technique has its place. The chill in the air, biting at uncovered skin, cannot dampen the spirit locked in your efforts. You are linked to a time when trades were passed down the generations, from father to son, like a well-guarded recipe. Historians still argue whether these early carpenter families had a choice in their trade, or if destiny was carved out by the heft of a hatchet passed from one calloused hand to the next. Ah, but destiny, which can be as unforgiving as a warped planker's, chosen you to grapple with this craft. Each cut resonates with the faint echo of old forests felled, centuries of trees sacrificed for the hammering pulse of progress. You wonder how many ancestors shaped this path you walk, their echoes faint, whispers carried on the sawdust-laden air that fills your lungs. The striving for perfection, although admirable, is far from perfect in the unrelenting conditions in which you labor. Yet, in these hand-hewn creations, lies proof of resilience and purpose, a testament to a life where every imperfect piece matters. And so, as you continue to shape both wood and destiny, remember that even in this struggle, a carpenter's mark, both on the world and within oneself, transcends the ages. As the first light of dawn creeps over the horizon, casting elongated shadows across the medieval streets, you awaken to another day's grind. The air is sharp, biting at your cheeks as you push open the creaky door to your cramped workshop. The familiar scent of sawdust, settled in crevices never fully ushered away, brings with it a sense of both fatigue and, oddly, comfort, a reminder of the hours already carved into this life. The village begins to stir, with patches of conversation and the bleating of goats echoing off stone walls. This day, like countless others, is dictated by the whims of the sun. Roosters announce the morning, an alarm clock synced with nature's timetable, reliable, and relentless. You stretch your limbs and take a moment to listen to the echoes of life around you. The clattering of wheels on cobblestones, the shuffle of leather shoes that cross the courtyard. Besides, who needs coffee when the cold nip and early bustle can wake you just as effectively? Your tools, though rudimentary by today's standards, are the lifeline between idea and execution. Each bears its own mark of wear, handles smoothed by years of grasping, blades honed repeatedly against coarser stones. There's something intimate about this relationship between hand and tool, a connection forged through necessity. For a carpenter of this era, the day's rhythm follows the steady cadence of hammer on wood, a symphony building the future one stroke at a time. Even as the sun mounts and softens the air, sweat already gathers at your brow, a testament to the physicality that underpins your craft. Today's task is daunting, the repair of a neighbor's door, splintered by the ravages of weather and the passage of time. It's heavy work, requiring a precision as sharp as the adze blade you wield. Your fingers, though calloused and worn, remember the intricate dance, directing each movement with muscle memory honed over the years. Amidst your labor, odd snippets of conversation catch your ear, floating in through the open window. The marketplace hubbub, a constant murmur in the distance, tells of fish caught fresh from the river, warm loaves of bread, and the quick bartering of hens. You chuckle to yourself, thinking about swapping a lousy chair leg for a loaf of bread as stale as last week's news. Who comes out? The winner in that transaction is anyone's guess. And yet, despite the grind, despite the relentless cycle of sunup to sundown, the life of a medieval carpenter holds small pockets of satisfaction. The pride in seeing a project through to completion, in watching unformed timber become a part of the fabric of your village, its very framework molded by your hands. Each piece of furniture, each humble cartwheel, becomes a thread in the story of the community's growth. Historians still puzzle over the life expectancy of such objects, whether they bore testament to an era of durability or tells of humble materials pushed to their limits. The day lingers in long hours, each bringing a different quality of light to color your work. By the time midday has sauntered by, you pause for lunch, a simple spread of coarse bread and cheese, far from extravagant yet steady sustenance. The repetitive nature of daily meals can't dim the appreciation you feel for each flavorful morsel, and if you're lucky, perhaps a bit of dried fruit to sweeten the palate. As you chew, you glance again at the door, now more than just a piece of wood. It's a testament to your craftsmanship. Adjusting the fit, hearing the satisfying click of completion, you can't help but grant yourself a quiet moment of achievement in a life packed tightly with small, often overlooked victories. Wood that once lay unused now breathes utility again, a quiet triumph amid the chaos. In this world, every stroke and every splinter chips away at your patience and posture, yet also at life's never-ending tasks. This is the daily grind, where triumphs are measured not in wealth, but in the knowledge that each completed task echoes through the halls of time. Your skills, etched into the fibers of everything you create, whisper stories of persistence and quiet dignity. So, as dusk begins to fall, casting halos on your finished work, you know tomorrow will be the same, but that's just fine. Every day here has stamped itself into the woodwork of history, and tomorrow, your hands will continue the narrative, one resilient piece at a time. Back to the embrace of your workshop, where time becomes a supple thing, measured not in minutes but in strokes of your plane on wood. As the morning's chill cedes to a more forgiving warmth, you immerse yourself in the environment where every sound and scent is a reminder of your craft. It's a cramped space, where natural light does lingering battle with shadow sunbeams breaking through tiny windows to trace bright lines across the wooden floor. The workshop is alive with the symphony of your toil, the rhythmic thunk of your mallet, the rasp of your saw slicing through a stubborn plank, and the occasional melody of a chisel turning potential chaos into clean lines and edges. These are the sounds of creation, a tune as ancient as the forests themselves. There's an unspoken conversation between you and the wooder dance of give and take, sometimes cooperative, sometimes unruly, but always challenging. The scent here is layered and multifaceted, a pungent blend of newly hewn timber mingling with the subtle metallic tang of tools and the waxy undertone of beeswax polish. This aroma creeps into the very fibers of your being, forging a connection that's almost spiritual, a memory laced with the earthiness of your endeavors. Your workspace is not only an extension of yourself, but also a testament to your life's labor. Each tool has its place. Planes, chisels, awls, and saws neatly arranged within arm's reach. The walls are covered in racks, nailed gloves left to dry, and bent nails held as reminders of the numerous fixes that form the pulse of your humble shop. Organization is key, for amidst the chaos of dust and splinters, order reigns supremely an essential ally in the carpenter's quest for perfection. The boundaries between wood and life blur here. Historians still debate whether workshops of the time doubled consistently as homes due to space constraints, or if it was merely an economic necessity, a debate that always seems to forget about personal choice entirely. In your case, the close walls hum with a mixture of sweat and sawdust, seasoned with the buttery warmth of candlelight in the evenings. An unexpected creak from the adjoining room reminds you of your family's presence. While the shop bears the marks of your individual labor, it simultaneously serves as a communal space that houses the conversations and laughter that surface intermittently amidst your work. It's a space that offers solace from the world's troubles, a haven from the ever-looming threats of nature and human strife. In moments of pause, you stand and survey the results of the day's efforts. Beds crafted sturdily enough to outlast their makers, tables robust and graceful, cabinets that will hold the meager luxuries of medieval life. The forms aren't always elegant, but there's beauty in the functionality, in the knowledge that these pieces serve both purpose and lineage. Lineage as tangled and rich as the knotted wood you shape each day. As the afternoon light shifts, elongated shadows alter the visible contours of the space. The workshop embodies a quiet resilience, akin to the heart of a steady beast as it sleeps, dreaming of new creations. You find yourself dreaming along with it, pondering how even in this precarious existence, you're crafting more than mere objects. You're building a legacy that carries forward long after you've hammered your last nail. A sudden bang disrupts your musings as a wooden beam caught carelessly in the breeze clatters to the floor. You chuckle at the folly, retrieving it as the sound ripples outward, a minor calamity in the ebb and flow of the shop's life. It's just one of many small surprises that pepper your days, punctuating the steady rhythm of creation with comedic interludes. And as this day wends its way to close, let the hum of this place settle into your reminder that the workshop is much more than mere wood and tools. It represents a sanctuary of simple perseverance and tireless dedication, a place where dreams are carved into reality, a testament to the sweat and breath of generations echoing in the dust that settles gracefully, slowly blanketing the memories etched into every nook and cranny. After all, in this intimate universe, you've crafted not just life's necessities, but a piece of eternity. And tomorrow, perhaps between a humorous mishap or the shaping of a new piece, you'll return to this workshop, a place that somehow weaves the mundane into the magnificent and guarantees continuity amid the churn of history's relentless march. As sunlight filters through dust-specked windows, casting a warm glow on your workshop, your hands glide over the cherished tools that line the bench. These aren't mere instruments. They are your companions, extensions of your will, each finely tuned to perform its unique task. From the smooth handle of the adze to the firm grip of the bow saw, these tools are the keys to unlocking the potential in every piece of wood you touch. Your toolkit, though rudimentary compared to modern standards, is nothing short of ingenious. The adze, with its broad blade, is perfect for shaping and smoothing timber. It's heavy yet balanced, requiring strength and finesse to wield. It's the precursor to the modern-day planer, transforming rough logs into surfaces ready for detailed work. As you balance it deftly in your hand, you feel a connection to countless craftsmen before you, all sharing in this intimate relationship between tool and task. Beside it lies the draw knife, with its twin handles and sharp blade, perfect for shaving down wood into finer shapes. It whispers of countless hours spent whittling chair legs or crafting barrels. It's a versatile companion able to coax creativity from even the gnarliest of oak. Handling the draw knife requires a combination of strength and delicacy, coaxing it carefully to peel layers off the wood without straying from the desired path. Then there's the indispensable mallet and chiseler duo that has become synonymous with the craft of carpentry. With precision strikes, sculptural finesse is achieved, carving details and joinery that sew every piece firmly into place. The sound of chisel on wood, rhythmic and hypnotic, is a lullaby of labor. It's one of those things that leaves you wondering. Historians still argue whether the first mallet was more of a weapon or a tool in terms of designers, if the two ever needed to be separate in the survivalist era of early man. And how could we forget your humble friend, the bow saw? Sturdy and reliable, it features a taut blade that hums with potential. Its design allows for the cutting of straight or curved lines, its tension adjustable with the clever twine mechanism that feels like magic to those less acquainted with such simple mastery. Each tool tells a story not just of your day's work, but of the craftsman before you who evolved and perfected these implements over centuries. There's a kind of continuity in handling these tools, a connection to the past that transcends the dust and cobwebs gathering in the corners of your shop. The tools you wield are not simply static objects. They demand care and attention. You tend to them with as much diligence as you do your crafted wood. Each day, you hone blades until they can slice through grain as effortlessly as a hot knife through butter, and you oil handles to prevent splinters, maintaining the precision that your work demands. Amidst the workshop's clattering bustle, your tools serve another role-silent confidant, familiar and comforting as your fingers play over them in search of the right instrument for the task at hand. They are a testament to your skill, your diligence, each bearing the wear and marks of your journey as a carpenter. You've spent countless hours, days, entire seasons mastering their intricacies. They are your credibility, your signature stamped invisibly upon every piece that leaves your shop. Tools bear the weight of your expectations and aspirations, the unspoken dreams of mastering one's craft despite adversity. Your hands may sometimes tremble with exhaustion, yet there is still that sense of pride, quiet acknowledgement of how far you've come in taming these ancient contraptions to do your will. In every perfectly joined seam and every skillfully turned chair leg, your spirit and legacy live on. And as you pack up at the close of yet another long day, locking your workshop with its earthy scents and chaotic beauty inside, you give these stalwart companions a last look. They rest where you've carefully placed them, ready to spring into action when the rooster's crow returns to pierce the coming dawn. After all, like you, each tool is part of a living history, legacy of endurance whispered through the ages, poised to continue the journey tomorrow. In the medieval world, the life of a carpenter thrums to the relentless pace of demand, the ceaseless hum punctuated by orders and obligations owed. The brutal reality, endless demand, meager rewards. From dawn till dusk, you're caught in an unforgiving cyclea, craftsman's burden that pays both too little and demands too much. The economy of the medieval village may thrive on barter and trade, yet you labor for coins so scarce they're more illusion than recompense. The village is a hive of activity, each day bringing a stream of townsfolk with requests that alternate between the mundane and the monumental. "Good sir, my fence has collapsed," calls one. Another beckons. "Please, I require a new crossbeam for my barn." Each plea reflects the community's reliance on your skill, a tether to their existence and continuity through crafted wood and sturdy nails. You nod with determined resolve, your mind racing with calculations time, effort, result. Behind pleasantries exchanged, a nagging thought persists, that though hard labor is temporal, hunger is persistent. After hours bent over splintered edges, your reward is often no more than a handful of coins, perhaps some fresh produce or a loaf of bread if you're lucky. Bartering is as much a skill as carpentry. A bargaining game unfurls with each transaction, a delicate dance where balance is sought between finished goods and the needs they fulfill. Make no mistake, you are just as engaged in crafting deals as you are in shaping wood. You stand your ground and smile wryly, trading wit and wordplay, as much a craftsman in conversation as in construction. "Your hens, dear madam, might lay golden eggs, but I've bills to pay," you jest, poking gently at the economics of commerce. Fame, too, can be fickle. Despite your vital role in village life, wealth eludes you. Peer into the annals of medieval history, and you find surprisingly sparse mention of craftsmen among the glittering upper classes. Despite the sprawling cathedrals and castles that boast countless beams tucked beneath their grandeur, It is knights and nobility that capture the limelight, leaving labourers like you in the shadow soul but forgotten. Pile on one legitimate historical fact. A carpenter could toil for an entire lifetime in obscurity, his contributions known only to those who directly benefited from his creations. The lasting grandeur of a completed structure seldom bore his name, his legacy, buried beneath tapestries, outshone by noble families' crests. Yet here lies the paradox. Meager the reward, monumental the responsibility. Your hands are the architects of existence in this town. Has it been mentioned that there's the constant hum of patrons who know they need your expertise as much as you need their commissions? Historians still argue whether there was a universal unspoken agreement in tax deductions to keep your artisan craft afloat during economic downturns, an agreement that befriends practicality over prestige. In the end, you emerge from your workshop, creations and obligations carried in tandem. The sky is a tattered quilt of fading colours, as villagers heed the glow of lanterns congregating. Another day closes, another ritual of appreciation plays out. Coins exchanged, handshakes heavy, with unspoken gratitude, though you sense that both parties leave wanting. Your heart beats to the rhythm of hope, punctuated by the day's closing soliloquy, echoing through the cobblestones as shoes tap out tales still untold. There's a promise in the journey home, murmurs whispered on the cusp of another day. And so, your story of endless demand and scant reward continues, an era carved into the woodwork of a medieval village, where the allure of potential glimmers like a faint star aspirations, flitting alongside shadows cast long and slender by the firelight within. Knock back the evening, for tomorrow it begins again, wordless agreements made anew. A dance of necessity, artisanship, and Tradian immortal cycle, slightly less grounded in gold, entirely more enduring. As the sky drapes itself in twilight's deep hues, you step away from the confines of your cluttered workshop, aching muscles underscoring the day's labour. The shadows of tools and wood stretch behind you, as if loath to let go of the solitary warmth your presence has long offered. You head toward your living quarters, an unassuming space that barely deserves the title of home. Medieval living quarters offer a comforting lack of pretension. They are austerely functional, primarily designed to shield against the elements rather than nurture dreams of comfort. Made from stout wooden beams that groan slightly under the weight of thatched roofs, these small abodes leave little room for luxury. Your home shares in this aesthetic stone floors that retain the cold, despite the warmth of day, walls draped in shadow, and worn textiles that tell tales far longer than their weave can bear. Upon entry, you're greeted by a mustiness in the air, the stale smell stirred only by the draughts that chase through narrow cracks. This scent is a pungent blend, a mixture of last night's embers, brothy stews simmered from humble ingredients, and the unmistaken aroma of livestock that nestles far too close for modern sensibilities. Your living space is cramped, nestled within the bounds of a village where personal space is squeezed tightly by necessity. Here, privacy is an alien concept, one negotiated through mutual respect rather than actual physical divides. Shared walls with neighbours mean shared conversations. Every cry of a child, every late-night celebration or dispute seeping into the collective consciousness of the tenement. In the dimness, your room emerges, its plainness chilled by the darkening air. Strewn on roughly hewn furniture lie the day's garments, weary threadbare linen and woolen layers carried over as blankets for the cold promises of night. You warm yourself by the diminishing hearth, coaxing embers back to life with careful breaths. The fire fusses and flares in rebellion, yielding eventually to glow and warmth anew. Around you are scant belongings, a wooden chest with metal bindings, a relic of your craft, simple pottery lined up with care, a few wooden implements essential to daily life grasped from the byways of your trade, shaped and finished by your own hands. The desire for more resides here, impoverished by the demands of a life perpetually in compromise. Reminders linger of the exhausting cycle between work and rest. Each furnishing, sparse and utilitarian, embodies stories whispered across generation, stories embedded in the wood of bed frames and the time-worn boards beneath your feet. The mattress, a bag stuffed with straw, offers little relief from an unyielding floor, more a suggestion of comfort than its actual embodiment. Historians still ponder whether the notion of comfort itself evolved in tandem with innovation, or if it was simply a rare indulgence reserved for the gentry. In this ambiencia backdrop, rugged and ripe for survival, you're reminded of how knights and nobles once lived in extravagant stone castles. Comparatively, your dwelling serves as a sobering reflection of the austere realities faced by working folk. Yet, find some humor here. Perhaps it's the blacksmith's chuckle next door as you both share this practical predicament. Despite the harsh conditions and cramped quarters, the warmth of family surrounds you. Laughter rings through the small space, the mating calls of the soul in a world rendered stark by necessity. Small victories are cherished, sewn into the very tapestry of existence, the moments that transcend mud floors and earthen walls. Here, love and the quiet hum of resilience offer what no coins could clamour: richness of spirit, emerging undeterred by life's sparse landscape. And so, as embers fade and shadows gather once more, you lie amidst the echoes of crafted wood and well-lived lives, settling down into the thrumming heart of collective dreams. The living quarters fit for no one cradles you into its folds as your mind drifts between tangles of reality and the timeless fantasy kindled beneath the rising moon. Here's to survival's gentle luxury, proffered as a place to rest your weary head. The day's end might bring the promise of rest, yet it also brings the chore of breaking your fast. As the night deepens into a dark velvet tapestry, you find yourself huddled around the small cooking area that resides within your humble home. The flickering light of a solitary candle is accompanied by the rhythmic crooning of crickets outside your window, performing their nocturnal symphony. Tonight's fare is simple and unpretentious, a meal both comforting and relentless in its monotonous regularity. Gone is any notion of lavish feasting. Your medieval diet is a straightforward affair, driven by the seasons and circumscribed by availability. Your menu this evening consists of coarse bread, a staple possessing more nutritional heft than luxury. Thick and grainy, it serves as both utensil and sustenance, durable enough to sop up the thin gruel accompanying it. When the bread nears staling, its resilience is challenged by a soak in broth, revitalizing it long past its viability. The scent of the gruel rises in gentle plumes. It's a modest concoction, simmered from whatever is on hand: barley, oats, perhaps a handful of lentils if you've had good trade. A whisper of salt, if you're lucky, nudges forth vague memories of flavour. It's a humble offering to the sustenance of the body, far from gourmet yet nourishing in its meagre way. For as unadorned as the meal is, its simplicity holds a certain charm. It has kept you going through lean times, a testament to humble subsistence. Most evenings yield a similar repast, as your occupation's income aligns closely with simplicity. Meat is a rare luxury, often reserved for special gatherings or the likes of larger families. You hoard such bounties for feasts and celebrations, savouring those rare moments of indulgence that punctuate the seemingly endless procession of peasant fare. Amidst this simple offering, you find moments of solace, captivated by the rustic tableau of a meal shared with family. A small joke here, a story there. These simple interactions transform the meal, dusted with the spices of affection and laughter. The comforting presence of loved ones surrounding you adds another layer to the experience. Here, in the disarming chatter, tastes transcend their humble origins and become part of the woven tapestry of family bonds. As you spoon the gruel with a careworn ladle, your thoughts may drift to nearby estate kitchens with their imposing hearths and fragrant dishes. These kitchens belong to a world where lavish displays and intricate tapestries of flavour present an entirely different picture of nourishmenta, flamboyant world from your everyday reality. Historians still debate over how often these feasts overshadowed the everyday communal meals among medieval commoners and their potential role in reinforcing social hierarchy. In contrast to such pomp, your repasts gather their own charm amidst humble circumstances. A twitch of humour when a crust goes flying, glances exchanged across the dim-lit rumour-wordless camaraderie, born from collective resilience. This is a facet of medieval life not often remembered, that sustenance doesn't stem solely from the caloric value of food, but from its role as a medium of connection. With the meal concluded, you wipe the remnants from your bowl with the last crust of bread. The candles dance conspiratorially as family members chuckle and linger in the glow of shared stories. Dishes, such as they are tidied with swift efficiency, mirroring the limited resources you strive to conserve. As the evening progresses, the air cools and draws the hearth's warmth closer. The day's shadows curl at your feet, drawing soft blankets over now silenced conversation. Together, you drift into a gentle repose, soothed by the mundane comfort of evening's ritual. That's the feast of bread and gruel, seasoned by everyday victories and shared laughter, etching its place in your life's simple rhythm. Here, nourishment and subsistence blend seamlessly. They sustain and propel you into the slumber of a world far removed from the grandiosity of banquets, but no less significant in its offering. To you, each meager morsel forms the marrow of survival's tale, whispered through the ages and sustained through dreams that grow well beyond the bounds of humble bread and gruel. As the morning sun peers over the horizon, you revisit the earliest days of your crafter recollection that stirs the memory of young hands, eager yet untrained, fumbling through a daunting world of wood and tools. Your journey as an apprentice began years ago, each day marked by the persistent ring of hammers on wood and the acrid tang of sawdust hanging in the air. In those days, your life was a tapestry woven between the threads of discipline and discovery, a place where ambition often raced ahead of ability. Apprenticeship was the doorway to carpentry, a rite of passage that shifted you from curious novice to competent craftsman. As a young child, barely tall enough to see over the workbench, you were absorbed into this world not by choice, but by heritage and circumstance. Your family handed you over to a local master craftsman who, in exchange for room and board, would weave you into the fibers of his hard-earned expertise. The routine was grueling, no question. Days were long, drawing out under the expansive sky without consideration for your youthful energy. Yet each seemed to carry a promise unseen, a furtive glance at the skills you yearned to master. The smell of fresh-cut wood mingled with sweat as you swept and tidied, your small hands aching from carrying lumber, learning the language of knots and grains before even touching a chisel. Your master's Patientian occasional commodity was countered with an exacting eye that left no room for folly. A misplaced cut drew a swift cluck of tongue, sometimes accompanied by a weary shake of the head. But perseverance is a patient tutor. You watched, learned, absorbed like a sponge until your hands could mirror the precision that was once so elusive. Historians still speculate about the intricacies of medieval apprenticeships, whether the verbal craftsmanship that passed down laborious generations was as rigidly structured as the elaborate stone edifices sprouting across the countryside. Between chores, there were moments of wonder. There was something mesmerizing about the transformation of raw wood into finished works and alchemy, born of talent and tenacity. Those early days, with their stringent demands, sowed the seeds of your craft, embedding muscle memory in fingers and forearms. Slowly, the chisel became an extension of your arm, the saw a trusted ally, the workshop a space cloaked in a sanctity all its own. Meals punctuated learning the bread, cheese, and thin soup had offered reprieve to boyish hunger. However, while the filling of your belly was appreciated, it lacked the gratitude earned by filling your mind. Each project presented new puzzles, every plank promising lessons hidden in its grain. From floorboard repair to scaffolding angle, the pathways of exploration seemed endless, each nugget of knowledge hammered into your mind like nails into beams. The transition from apprentice to journeyman was gradual yet undeniable. Mistakes still occurred, as they must, but with each error came understanding rather than scolding. A chair leg, once carved unevenly, now balanced confidently on the ground. A door that wouldn't hang true guided your hand to better align tools. Education intertwined with camaraderie. You grew close to fellow artisans, sharing tales at the end of long shifts. Laughter rippled through sawdust-laden air, threaded with moments of levity as you regaled each other with horror stories of warped planks and disastrous mismeasurements. Though much was left to learn, and the journey stretched far beyond the horizon, there was a quiet confidence in knowing you were part of a traditional continuum that valued experience as its finest currency. In the dimming light of the workshop, the day's scars washed away and forgotten in jest, you found your place among the dusted shapes and whispering wood. Here, apprenticeship had become the forge within which potential was transformed into practical skill, tempered by repetition, quenched in sweat's earnest flow. So as you stand now, fingers tracing the fine edge of a sharpened chisel, you're reminded of the young boy whose wonder blossomed into wisdom. Apprenticeship was the crucible that shaped your destiny, beginning of a life striving towards perfection in a world where survival was the greatest testament to skill and perseverance. These lessons, indelible as the wood shavings left behind, accompany you in every project, every joint, and every timber you raise to the sky. Your life, etched into the annals of time, is a testament to a craft honed through the beating heart of experience and wisdom resonating through the ages. The dawn ushers in a familiar chorus of market sounds, the air a symphony of mingling voices, and the melodic backdrop of livestock bleating, all wrapped in the sharp scent of fresh produce and wafting coal smoke. Today, you find yourself threaded through the bustling heart of the village marketplace, a place every bit a second workshop as the dusty confines of your carpentry den. Here, you navigate the dance of trade, the pulse of commerce that fuels medieval life. This marketplace is more than just a setting for barter. It's a theatre where the entire village comes alive with expressiveness and intent. Each stall buzzes with activity, vendors extolling the virtues of their wares. Here, the world unfolds into a riot of colour, each shade as vivid as the transactional tales whispered between tables. The streets are animated with energy, making it the ideal place not merely to shop, but to also catch snippets of the town's fabric being woven in real time. Your role here is multifaceted. On one hand, you're a buyer, subtly evaluating materials to fuel your craft, meaning timber for strength, nails for durability, canvas for sails, ropes for sturdy binding. Each transaction is an exercise in assessment, a subtle strategy to extract the most value from what little coin you possess. On the other hand, like any good carpenter, you're a seller, offering your completed wares to the townspeople, referring today to their perfect fit, enduring strength, and the timeless craftsmanship they embody. There are no digital receipts in this era, of course, just trades struck with the firm clasp of hands, a nod, and a shared sense of obligation. The bartering process itself is as much a dance as debonair conversation, a meeting of two people, each with their desires and limits, with only wit and will to bridge the gap. A farmer with more chickens than space might offer a basket of eggs for a sturdy repair to his henhouse, while the fishmonger promises smoked trout in exchange for a replacement oar for his skiff. It's a world where money is less defined by currency than by the values it represents in trade. Coins, when they do come your way, are quickly absorbed by the necessities of life food, tools, materials, and somehow the balance is maintained. Historians still argue whether the medieval barter system, with all its inherent negotiation, developed more nuanced social skills than a coin-based economy might have fostered. Among the vibrant patchwork of the market, fragrant spices, coarse woolens, bleating livestock, you navigate with practiced ease. Medieval folk are conversational, prone to street theatre performances in their daily exchanges. You hear snippets of gossip tales of far-flung travellers, weather predictions extrapolated from wishful thinking rather than scientific basis, whispered suspicions of witches casting hexes from the brook's edge. Gossip is as much part of the market as the goods themselves, a currency exchanged with bright-eyed enthusiasm. The market is a living pulse, a vein through which each village story beats to its unique rhythm. In its hum, you find connections outside the confines of your workshop's walls, partaking in a narrative woven from shared struggles, successes, and the ubiquity of daily survival. In between trades, you grab chance encounters with fellow craftsmen, blacksmiths, weavers, masons, each immersed in the tales of their trade, just as much an artist as you are. As the sun reaches its zenith, you find shade under a canvas and share a quick meal with a fellow artisan, breaking bread still warm from the baker's oven. Amidst laughter and shared tales, there lies a kinship, born from the mutual understanding of the challenges faced in creatively navigating life's necessities. When the marketplace begins to wane, as the sun dips low and vendors pack away their unsold goods, you find yourself heavier with the day's exchanges, both literal and metaphorical. You head back towards your home, a little richer, and a little wiser, hearing the echoes of a day well spent ringing between buildings. Each token of trade wood, bread, stories becomes a part of a tapestry that ties the community. And as you leave the market square behind, with its promises and negotiations, you reflect on the day's lessons etched into the grains of tomorrow's wooden endeavors. It's these connections, ephemeral yet enduring, that breathe life into the carpenter's toil, warming the heart even as the chill of dusk nips at your heels. The barter of goods, wit, and laughter ingrains itself in memory, ensuring you'll return tomorrow to weave new stories into the time-worn tapestry called life. As another moon rises over the village, casting a gentle glow over its entwined streets and cottages, you consider your place within the intricate web of medieval life, a place curiously etched by the inscribed seals of the guilds. In this era, guilds are both gatekeepers and guardians of your trade, wielding power that is both enabling and constraining in its embrace. A gilded tapestry of influence and control defines the guild system, a world unto itself where carpenters like you find a footing in societal scaffolding more enduring than any timber-framed roofing. Membership in a guild is your badge of legitimacy, offering you both the honor of brotherhood and the weight of bound expectations. Joining is a rite of passage, not easily achieved, demanding years of apprenticeship and rigorous assessment, only to be gained when your work bears testament to undisputed skill and character. In the guild hall, echoes of ancient woodcrafting lore are inscribed into the very beams and panels. It's a repository of tradition, pulsating with discussions, debates, and decrees. Here, the air is thick with the scent of waxed wood, and the warm aroma of ale, thick mingled sounds of approval enveloping newcomers introduced to the communal hearth. The space offers mentorship, camaraderie, and a sense of belonging, a community of craftsmen who share in both the challenges and triumphs of the trade. These guilds are fiercely protective of their craft secrets, ensuring that members uphold high standards. They regulate the quality of work, fix prices, and dictate who may take apprentices, controlling interest that rings as protective yet monopolistic. This regulation frames your work, serving as both a shield and a shackle. Historians still debate the impact of guilds on innovation, whether they fostered community or stifled freedom, or if they deftly walked the line between both. Beyond camaraderie, guilds project power in the village hierarchy. Their influence extends into local politics, often quite literally building the town's physical shape and social order. Representatives liaise with local lords to secure contracts, establishing carpenters and their goods as indispensable to the lifeblood of local commerce. You benefit from this, gaining access to exclusive work such as crafting ceremonial items or managing complex architecture-esque opportunities granted by the guild's reach. Yet, remember the price of this protection. Membership claims dues and levies, controlling access to specific jobs and materials, often mandating a portion of your earnings to sustain communal guild coffers. These regulations are like the bones of ancient scaffolding, stabilizing, yet undeniably restrictive. In essence, the guild's collective embrace is both kind and unyielding, offering success only to those skilled enough to navigate its intricate customs. For all their overbearing regulations, guilds offer a rare reassurance in this fickle medieval economy. They create a network of mutual aid. Should tragedy strike, your brethren are bound to support in times of need, in illness, death, or disastrous security, woven with camaraderie more binding than law. On guild meeting nights, you share ale and tales, exchanging the week's highs and lows beneath timbers that stretch high overhead. Generations of shared stories, victories, and trials resound within these walls. The evening's discussions meander between resolute brokering of trade secrets and light-hearted jests directed at hapless fellow craftsmen. Laughter echoes against wood-worn walls, transforming these gatherings into celebrations of shared purpose and solidarity. As you make your way back from the guild hall this evening, feeling the weight of fellowship draped over your shoulders, ponder the path carved by this craftsman's band. The guild has tethered itself to your identity, a historical link in a lineage that ties you to your forebears and successors. Guilds may lord over this medieval world, but they do so cloaked in a relentless effort to preserve and protect a uniquely medieval balancing act between freedom and order, skill and restraint. This layered complexity defines your life, providing a misshapen quilt, stitching together opportunities and obligations, a quilt that warms but also constrains. You know well that the price of belonging is both deeply satisfying and quietly suffocating as you reconcile your aspirations with the Guild's expectations. But ultimately, the Guild is a family indelible in its influence, capable of shaping your journey through the world more surely than any chiseling of oak or shaping of cedar, binding your craft to a tradition that ripples out beneath that moonlit medieval sky. The medieval world spins on an axis of social hierarchies, tightly woven and rigidly structured, dictating the fabric of daily life. For you, a carpenter plying your trade in this complex mosaic, these hierarchies are as much a part of your environment as the wood shavings that accumulate on your workshop floor. Navigating these social layers requires dexterity and understanding, much like wielding a chisel to shape a piece of timber. In a world where every action, from work to worship, is prescribed by your place in society, the notion of moving beyond established boundaries often seems as distant as the constellations twinkling in the night sky. Your position as a carpenter places you squarely in the realm of freemen tier above the serfs who toil under the heavy burden of feudal obligations, yet far below the lords ensconced in stone bastions that dot the landscape. Life within this framework is a perpetual balancing act. You are a craftsman, a tradesman recognized for your essential skills, yet your influence fails to stretch beyond the village's cobbled paths. You may rub shoulders with all manner of folk at the bustling market or within the guild hall, from other tradesmen to local clergy, yet your social standing remains steadfast as timber, rooted and unyielding. The village, a microcosm of the larger world, dictates social rules unique to its confines. It is a space in which your status doesn't always grant privilege or lean in your favor. When a nobleman visits, you must balance deference with competence, ensuring their commissioned projects are crafted with the utmost precision. Despite the disparity, these encounters offer glimpses into the vaulted lives of the upper classes, as much an object of fascination as the exquisite craftsmanship you endeavor to replicate. Still, your connections with the lower ranks, those mutual gateways of camaraderie and trade, are the ties that bind, knotted through labor, shared under sun and stars. These relationships form the heart of your daily existence, a simple comfort that maintains the warmth of humanity amidst rigid social structures. Tread carefully, for compliance within this hierarchy involves more than courteous nods and respectful greetings. It necessitates keen understanding of the subtleties of etiquette, the deft use of titles, and appropriate gesturies, a delicate dance choreographed by the expectations of the era. One finds ways to slip between the ranks, finding unexpected kinships in the spare moments of life shared around a communal hearth or a pint of ale at the inn, crafting bonds that are unspoken yet universal. Historians still argue whether the rigidity of these hierarchies served as a necessary order ensuring medieval society's survival, or if it stifled the potential for individual advancement. For in every transaction, every conversation held within these stone villages, the silent sentinel of hierarchy stands guard, whispered in the nuances of medieval exchange. Your family and community hold their own places within this framework, each member playing a role in strengthening collective ties. Spouses often balance their own responsibilities, partners in life's perpetual barterers. Children learn early the stratagems required to navigate hierarchy's pervasive reach. When you gather with your family at night, tales of village gossip thread through your conversations. You speak candidly of the landlords, of the unending demands of the church with its tithes, and of how the Count's latest decree has sent ripples through your world. Yet, among the grumbles and reflections, there is a pride that can counterbalance the weight of the immutable hierarchy, a pride in craft, in family, in the simple veracity of an honest day's work. Though the undercurrents of hierarchy flow perpetually beneath your daily life, you take solace in knowing your trade's earnest flow runs deeper, grounding you. The societal lattice holds your existence together, yet within its confines, you carve out sanctity and satisfaction in your craftsmanship, as if shaping raw wood into resilient beauty. And so, as you lay your head to rest, let those subtle musings on hierarchies drift softly into dreamscape. There, where the pyramids of class and trade become as fluid as the murmurs of sleep constructs given over to the mind's weaving, even as the foundations of medieval life stay firmly in place. As the sun dips below the horizon and the village falls into the hushed tones of evening, whispers of superstition and folklore wrap themselves around your world, as tangible as the wood grains beneath your hands. Medieval life teems with beliefs that stretch beyond the tangible realm, where superstition dances hand in hand with everyday reality, casting shadows that subtly shape your daily existence as a carpenter. Your village, like many others, is a tapestry woven with tales of the supernatural, where omens are heeded with careful reverence. The air often vibrates with hushed voices, recounting sightings and signs, each carrying its own weight in the social fabric. You find yourself situated in this world of signifiers and portents, navigating with caution through the unseen guidelines etched into the medieval mind. As you rise each morning, superstition might have followed like a shadow, its presence felt in the hesitance to swing a hammer before acknowledging the rising sun or choosing your first plank of the day by the guidance of habit and intuition. Superstitions, despite their ephemeral nature, wield an influence hard to ignore. Ignoring the norm, after all, means tempting forces unknown. Among these whispers, the tales of the woods dense, dark and rich with life, are perhaps most resonant. Adorned with mythical creatures, fairy folk who bend trees to their will, and spirits who guard the forest paths, the woodlands are both a source of livelihood and whispered mythos. It is said that knocking thrice on a felled tree trunk can appease woodland spirits, ensuring safe passage home a quaint quirk that endures, marrying practicality with tradition. Historians still argue whether such rituals were more psychological balm or genuine belief, fading into antiquity, though echoes ring clear. Superstitions extend beyond the woodland sit, permeates the very workshop where you labor. There is the whispered understanding that stumbling upon fresh sawdust beneath the moon foretells imminent rain unless swept away promptly. Such customs keep tight hold, actively participating in the narrative stitchwork of life. Framed within this folklore are the charms and symbols, swaying gently over doors and beams, whispers of protection sealed into carvings meant to fend off malice. A neighbor down the lane always carries a pouch filled with salt tied to her sewing apron, said to deflect the wandering eye of envious mischief. A black cat crossing your path might cause unease even as you brush away such concerns. You find yourself subconsciously sidestepping the feline figure darting beneath moonlit shadows. Around the hearth, stories unfold tales, seasoned with spice and whimsy. You join in with eager ears, adding your own woven yarns of leprechaun-stolen tools and invisible patrons inspecting your craftsmanship. In these exchanges you find laughter, bolstered by knowing glances exchanged over flickering flames, the intangible world drawn closer within these shared moments. Superstition is not just a compass, but also a key, unlocking the door to worlds transcending the rigid boundaries of medieval life, teasing the imagination with its stitching of everyday reality and the fantastical. Through tense economies and hierarchical constraints, these beliefs offer escape, a playground of possibilities, unfurling amidst the firelit glow. So much of this life, shaped by whimsy and belief, reminds you that the boundaries between the known and the unknown are remarkably fluid, ever shifting under the gentle nudges of human imagination. The superstitions hold court over gatherings, haunt crossroads, whisper in the quiet of the night. They create connective tissue, binding you to both the past and present a testament to the enduring power of story itself. As moonlight sketches patterns over rooftops and fields, you allow these tales to curl softly into your consciousness like smoke from an extinguished candle, reminder that in the end, it is our stories that shape the world, imprint our hopes, fears, and dreams upon the places we call home. With eyes closed and sleep's gentle embrace wrapping softly around you, embrace the power of belief as it gently guides you through the tapestry of the unknown, inviting dreams filled with promise and whispers of worlds just beyond the reach of wood, hammer, or saw. As a medieval carpenter, constantly surrounded by wood shavings and newly cut beams, the ever-present threat of fire looms large over your world. It's a danger, whispered in hushed tones around village gatherings, a spectre that takes on prodigious proportions in the flickering candlelight of evening tales. To live in a community where much of your material is flammable is to embrace an existence punctuated by vigilance and constant preparation. Fire is a capricious element. While vital for warmth and cooking, it can voraciously consume everything in its path. The breath of dragons imagined in the dreadful tales spun by a storyteller's art. Fear of this destructive force is deeply ingrained in the daily life of the village, where wood, thatched roofs, and close-knit homes are tinder awaiting a spark. Your workshop stands as both a hub of creation and potential calamity. The dry timber stacked high along the walls, and the shavings on the floor might as well be a feast laid out for a hungry flame. Small embers spit from the glinting fireplace hold stories of past devastation. Towns reduced to ash overnight cautionary tales that have molded strict safety routines into your life. Safety measures, although rudimentary, are a necessary ritual. By day, your hearth is carefully maintained, ensuring the fire burns low and does not ignite errant shavings or stacks of lumber. Basic as they may be, practices such as storing water-filled clay pots at arm's reach seem to sway fortune in your favor. Historians still debate on whether these approaches were born from pragmatic trial and error or handed down through cultural storytelling, a cycle of knowledge, preserving community welfare like a secret tapestry. By night, the village forms a network of sentinels against this consuming force. Neighbors extinguish every flame before bed with the unanimous flick of wrists, as darkness cloaks the village in protective shadow. Families gather, recounting tales of sanctuaries from searing infernally wells or stone churches where fire holds less sway. As a tangible thread through the narrative of medieval life, the threat of fire brings the community together, a shared vigilance uniting villagers in the face of disaster. When the village gathers for seasonal festivals, bonfires illuminate cautionary whispers like sparks arcing into the cold night sky, unfurling fleeting memories of carnivals marred by accidental conflagrations. Despite the potential for devastation, fire weaves another narrative. It's a giver of life. Without it, the fabric of nightly meals and morning mists would unravel into nothingness. Fire is metamorphosis, the means by which raw materials merge into warmth, nourishment, and sustenance. It becomes easier to hold in balance the dichotomy of your existence creation intertwined with destruction, life a tapestry of shifting threads, held stably by threads of care. Your community's resilience in the face of fire speaks volumes, underscoring the indomitable human spirit. By remaining both cautious and respectful of this element, life maintains its rhythm fires kindled and extinguished with diligence. Amidst daily conversations, talk of smothered flames outlasted by neighbors, armed with pots and pails, twirl outward, offerings to the archives of communal memory, engraving humble heroics into the village's heart. Indeed, your role in the community, firmly rooted in the creation of structures, calls for an added layer of responsibility. Every piece crafted must balance beauty with function, encapsulating the village's trust in your craftsmanship. It transports you beyond mere construction, navigating homes queuing for refuge, sheltered from the winds of time and immutable flame. As the moon rises high and the fading embers shift to a soft glow of reassurance, the shadowed corners of your mind unravel, their tensions released into the night. Drifting into sleep, your dreams embrace the elemental dancer waltz of fear and flame, faith and fortitude. For here, in these entwined moments, lies a vision of reimagined harmony, a tenderness formed from flickering flames and deeply etched promises. Promises that though fragility threads through life, so too does resilience, a balancing act as fragile, yet enduring as the kiss of night upon the morning's illuminating glow. As the village awakens to another day, the air carries an unusual vibrancy, an undeniable energy that hints at the excitement of an eventful village day. There's an unmistakable hum of anticipation that invigorates every step, the norm giving way to the extraordinary as market hustle and daily toil pause momentarily, ushering in the precious respite known as a festival or fair. These events, interspersed throughout the year, mark a departure from routine, a colourful tapestry unfurling to celebrate the seasons, the harvest, or simply the joy of community. For a medieval carpenter, these fairs and festivals offer both a rare escape and an opportunity, a chance to revel in companionship while showcasing craftsmanship to potential patrons. The festival grounds are a riot of colour and sound. Bunting flutters overhead, stalls burgeon with an enticing array of goods, and the smell of roasted meats mingles invitingly with the sweetness of baked goods. You step into this vibrant microcosm, your senses alive to the swirling sounds of laughter and music, punctuated by the clang of blacksmiths demonstrating their art in the open air. Amid the jovial chaos, your eyes scan for familiar faces. Each greeting is met with a warm handshake, calls of camaraderie weaving through the festival's heart. Here, children dart past with shrieks of laughter, while performers capture imaginations with feats of acrobatics and jest, their antics drawing appreciative gasps and thunderous applause. The festival becomes a tapestry of interactions, a celebration of life's simple pleasures spun from shared stories and daylight reverie. For you, as a carpenter, the festival offers a unique stage to display your finest creations. An intricately carved chair, or a beautifully finished chest, becomes more than an object. It is your calling card, an invitation to trade that might seed future commissions. These festivals, though festive, play an important role in the commerce that sustains your craft. Historians still debate whether these gatherings served more as economic boons or social unifiers, their dual nature leaving an indelible mark on medieval life. Both the sights and tastes of the festival evoke joy. You indulge in a mug of ale, its frothy surface reflecting the afternoon sunlight as you savor not only its taste, but the warmth of friendship coursing through the throng. Food stalls offer hearty fare-hot pasties and savory pies eaten while standing to fill the belly and delight the senses. Even a simple chunk of cheese, procured from a neighboring farm, becomes a feast under the festival's spell. As day tips towards dusk, torches are lit and music swells, inviting villagers to join in communal dances. Here, barriers of hierarchy dissolve, if only for a while, as everyone from farmers to nobles comes together in an undulating sea of movement, laughter, and song. These moments etch themselves into collective memory, a culmination of spirit and kinship that transcends the daily grind. The rhythmic tunes of a fiddler ripple through the twilight, melding with the shadows cast by flickering flames. You find yourself swept into the dance, buoyed by the warmth of community. As your feet shuffle over trampled grass, the lines of care and work fade, leaving behind only the joy of the present time momentarily suspended in the flow of celebration. With any festival, tales of mischief and merriment emerge, retold with exuberant embellishments. Whether it's a chicken run amok causing uproarious laughter, or an impromptu competition of log-splitting prowess, these anecdotes stitch themselves into the village lore, revisited fondly at future gatherings. As you leave the festival grounds, sated and content, the rising moon casts silver paths to guide your return. The village, now quiet beneath the celestial canopy, holds within it the essence of connection and hope, lovingly fostered by shared celebration and moments of delight. Fairs and festivals may be ephemeral, yet their impact resonates long after the ale has been drunk and the laughter has drifted into the crisp night air. They leave in their wake a rekindled sense of identity, a remembrance that beneath the village's unyielding rhythms lies a capacity for joy. Reminder that life, like the dance, is a shared journey, one woven together with a spirit that refuses to dim, even amid challenges. And as you lay your head to rest, you carry forward the echoes of today's laughter, dreams weaving the colours of festival banners into the fabric of medieval nights. The light of a new day breaks over the horizon, casting a soft glow across the village and heralding the challenge of transporting materials, a Herculean task for a medieval carpenter. This task, though mundane and often overlooked, is foundational to your daily life. The act of gathering and moving wood, tools, and finished products through the unpredictable maze of medieval infrastructure requires both ingenuity and tenacity. The journey begins in the early morning, as the air, still cool and crisp, carries the promise of the day's labour. The roads ahead are a tapestry of hardened earth, rugged stones, and persistent mud that clings to everything it touches. Even familiar paths morph with the weather, altering the simplicity of movement into an exercise of patience and resolve. To fetch your timber, you venture beyond the village's protective embrace, into the outskirts where dense forests hold sway. Here, the trees stand like ancient sentinels, their limbs intertwined in a protective canopy. The forest is a realm simultaneously welcoming and foreboding, echoing with tales of hidden dangers and unseen guardians. Though these woods serve as source and companion in equal measure, they demand respect, guiding your hand and heart in gratitude and humility. As you make your way into the forest, your cart, sturdy, wooden, and laden with anticipation, becomes a faithful ally. It creaks along beside you, its wheels resistant yet rhythmic against the terrain. The cart is a testament to your craft, a creation pieced together not solely with nails, but with hope and experience, forged to endure the rugged wear of countless journeys. Your path is shared by fellow villagers, each bearing their own burdens of goods, queries, or greetings. The community interlinks in a patchwork quilt that stretches across these shared roads, yielding tales of mutual aid when disaster strikes, or friendly competition when the need arises. Bonded by purpose, each traveler acknowledges the tangible understanding that to traverse the world requires courage, camaraderie, and a touch of luck. The transportation of heavy timber requires a strength that yields not just from muscles, but from ingenuity. As much an art as a science, the arrangement of the logs on your cart demands balance, ensuring they neither tumble to the earth nor shift with the rhythm of the road. It's a job that transforms the carpenter into an engineer, calculating angles and weight with practiced intuition and grace. Your day progresses, and with it, the sun climbs, gilding the trees with its warming light. Each log, though heavy, is acutely alive with potential portals to the dreams etched into your mind, waiting to be realized with chisel and mallet. The journey home invites the satisfaction that comes with a task completed, anticipation, igniting your heart like a flame as you imagine all that awaits creation in your workshop. Yet, every venture bears a risk. A sudden downpour can reduce pathways to treacherous bogs, while a wayward wheel can bring sudden misfortune. The clatter of a dislodged log can send your heart racing while wry humor eases the frustration, laughter mingling with the challenge as you rally with wit and grit to overcome these moments. Historians still debate whether the transportation practices of the time helped foster a community bound tightly by obligation, or prevailed as an isolated challenge brandished by each individual. Nevertheless, these shared routes laid groundwork for interdependence, constructing invisible bridges that supported the village's framework. As the evening shadows grow long, guiding your return to the workshop and life's tangible realities, the day's journey stands complete. The exertion offers a gentle reminder of the intricate bonds that tether each act of creation to the broader cycles of nature and community. The task, the difficulty of transporting materials unseen by the untrained eyes, more than mere labor, it is an expression of partnership with the world, with each journey brimming with its own stories of perseverance and triumph. The night falls like a gentle curtain, wrapping the village in a blanket of intimacy and rest. In dreams, you trudge once more along the pathways you've walked, their challenges muting into soft suggestions. Dreams carry forth whispers of logs carted home, of creations yet to be shapida, gentle reminder of the shared endeavor that overcomes challenges, grounded in quiet resolve and an unwavering bond with your surroundings. In tomorrow's dawn, that incomparable cycle shall begin, a Niwa cycle of labor and camaraderie that threads through every river and road, carving a path in the rich tapestry of life's enduring journey. The sun peeks over the horizon, casting a warm glow over the village as you step into the realm of delicate balance the nobles commission. These special projects present themselves as a dual-edged sword, filled with promise and pressure, where the finest work of your career may be born under the watchful eyes of those seated in power. A noble's commission is no ordinary task. It is a testament to your skills, a challenge that commands your absolute best. Precision and artistry must transcend the everyday, as the stakes are high, and word of your craftsmanship travels swiftly through the ranks. Such an undertaking is rich with both opportunity and peril. Success promises rewards and future commissions, while failure could eclipse your reputation, too easily casting a shadow over your labor. Today the village buzzes with the stir of impending ambition, visible in villagers' nods, acknowledging the singularity of your task. The castle looms in the distance, a monolithic sentinel on the landscape, its battlements framed against the vast expanse of sky. It's a reminder of hierarchy, as much as it is of the weight of responsibility you now shoulder. As you journey towards the noble residence, each step resonates with the historical weight of your craft's lineage, the purpose of your mission resonating within every tap of your boots upon earth. The path takes you past villagers engaged in daily toil, their whispered encouragements merging with morning breeze, as if contributing to the heartbeats pacing your journey toward the grand castle. Upon arriving at the noble's estate, you find yourself dwarfed by stone walls, intricately carved, and an ambiance thick with importance. Noble commissions often require intricate pieces, grand banqueting tables, large enough to host scores of revelers, or elaborate staircases fitted to outshine the baubles and gold filigree strewn about the castle's halls. Men-at-arms and servants' distinct roles, yet united in service, cast discreet glances your way, blending duty and curiosity. Your meeting with the noble patron reveals expectations. Goods coveted not just for function but for capturing the essence of an era, something their ancestors would envy, a tangible representation of their place in history. The noble's opulence contrasts sharply with your everyday circumstances, illuminating the chasm between societal strata. Without words, a comprehension exists that your crafting aligns with the desires projected by those above, fulfilling a vision spun from whispers and ambition. The adrenaline coursing through your veins finds form, grounding you amidst the weave of creation, a dance between wood and imagination, honed uniquely to fulfill aspiration. In your workshop, the challenge becomes realer mental blueprint, transforming with each cut and curve. You feel the weight of responsibility balance with artistic flair as you shape raw timber into architectural dreams, coaxing magic from material, manifesting thought into tangible form. Here, under the pass of your chisel, lies ambition's energy encapsulated in wood, breathing with life and potential. The days blend into one another through the rhythm of work, soft conversation accompanying every stroke, every sanded edge. Integration of ornate detail and structural soundness propels you into a unique dance of crafter pas de deux, navigating between compromise and perfection. As the final piece takes form, there lingers a sense of elation, layered with apprehension. Will the vision translate? Will it captivate, enthrall, securing the patron's approval, or invite dreams of another commission? The delivery day arrives under an expanse of blue sky. Under watchful eyes, an intricate vision is unveiled. The noble inspects with abstract intensity, their gaze sweeping the lines and motifs born of your toil. There's a Pausian eternity crystalline between scrutiny and discerning nod, and in that unguarded moment, your heart holds its breath. Joy surges with the noble's eventual approval, a relief that washes over you like spring sunlight cresting early morning fog. Yet no extended celebration interrupts the day's rhythm. For within this journey lay not merely the reward of gold or favor, but the true wealth of accomplishment, of connection forged in craft and shared between patron and carpenter alike. Historians still debate whether noble commissions effectively bridged class divides or merely heightened theme. Each piece, however, constructing its own narrative, assembling a mosaic of medieval life within which you remain intrinsic as both creator and contributor. And as the evening settles, your return unwinds along familiar paths, the whispers of accomplishment soothing your soul. You carry forth the memory of this commission, an enduring reminder of both challenge and triumph, embedded in wood and whispered through echoes spanning the ages. The moon ascends gracefully, casting silver tendrils over fresh ambitions, taking root over unspoken dreams realized and yet to be born. The world, shaped by wood and aspirations, embraces you anew, a testament to the power of craft eternal, ever persistent. Weaving through the tapestry of time, you close your eyes, adrift in dreams of creation and creation yet to come. The day dawns with a hint of expectation in the air, as the world of medieval carpentry whispers tales of innovation. In an era when craftsmanship is both science and art, you eagerly dive into the realm of medieval innovations, and carpentry marvels a universe where imagination and ingenuity coalesce to defy the limits imposed by basic tools and resources. Carpentry of this time is an orchestra of evolving techniques, each advancing step a note in the symphony of medieval construction. As you survey the framework of innovation, you witness how concepts rooted in simple physics are elevated to the extraordinary, shaping structures that defy both age and gravity. Amongst these marvels stands the Gothic arch, a design composed of sweeping elegance that elevates architecture into the heavens themselves. These arches stretch across cathedrals like the ribs of an immense stone creature, transferring weight through a delicate balance of tension and compression, allowing for grand, open spaces dotted with sunlight filtered through stained glass. Constructed with a carpenter's precision under the guidance of masons, they continue to fan the imagination centuries after their inception. Consider the intricacies of joinery, with its dovetail joints interlocking like the fingers of a folded hand, each piece, cut and shaped with care, combining practicality with craftsmanship to ensure resilience and strength. These techniques epitomize creativity, designed both to withstand time's relentless march and to reflect the dreams of those dwelling within. Then there is the hammerbeam roof, an innovation allowing for breathtaking spans without supporting columns-and irony of sorts, where the stoutest support is realized through the absence of mass. Your role here is more than merely functionary. It becomes an art form, sculpting timber with acute mindfulness to fit seamlessly into architectural puzzles. Wooden trusses, crafted with the eye of an artist and the intuition of an engineer, unfurl across castle halls and communal barns. These frameworks outlast their creators, told through the whispers of beams long seasoned by history's breath. But carpentry marvels are not limited to grand constructs alone. Even the seemingly mundane serve as canvases for ingenious solutions. Wooden aqueducts channel resources, their sloped planes designed to defy gravity's whim and influence medieval industry. Simple water wheels harness natural forces, transforming rushing currents into mills and saws that defy energy scarcity. Historians still argue whether such innovation purely stemmed from necessity or mingled freely with competitive pride, driving craftsmen further along paths that explored the potential of timber and tenon. Each crafted piece speaks of stories encoded in grain, of hours spent amid towering forests, where imagination transcends mere wood to mimic nature's balance of beauty and function. Your role in this pioneering landscape involves more than applying tried and tested methods. It's about allowing each piece to come alive with purpose, to contribute to the narrative of possibility, spun like a spider's web across the Western world. Collaboration with fellow artisans meanders through your days, where knowledge is transferred not only through tutelage, but through a shared legacia, dance of craft, witnessed through every collective endeavor. By embracing these innovations, carpentry spreads roots that stretch beyond merely supporting walls. It builds into realms of philosophy and aspiration, design equally matched by aesthetic exploration. The carpenter becomes both a creator and a keeper of time, sketching ambition into beams, turning visions into lived experience. As the sun sinks low, casting shadows of complexity through the neatly honed lines of fences and frames, your hands trace these marvels initiated by kindred spirits, adding fresh vitality to each impression. Under the quietude of a medieval sky, you become both curator and artist, shaping new realities through the ancient wisdom of carpentry marvels, straddling time. Beneath the blanket of twilight, as the world drifts to dreams born upon echoes of arches and beams, your mind embraces innovation. Anawar twin flame to the embers, softly glowing in the hearth. Each whispered tale of curious design entwines with hopeful aspiration, all composed in a timeless symphony of passion written into every crafted etude, promising the evolution in wood that echoes through the endless corridors of time. As twilight casts its warm embrace over the village and shadows stretch like fingers across the land, the dense, ancient forests beckon the mystic foreign lands, whispering tales as old as the trees themselves. You, a carpenter by trade, find an intimate connection with these woods, the very source of your material and your muse. These forests are not merely clusters of trees, but an enigmatic realm, alive with legends and lore, echoing with the spirits of yore. The forest stands as both ally and enigma, its trees towering like cathedral spires, each one bearing witness to centuries of secrets swathed in mystery. Once again, you step beyond the boundaries of the village, entering this verdant world that resonates with the rustling symphony of leaves, each sound accentuated by the hollow echo that only deep forests know. It's a world steeped in its own history, where every branch and bough weaves stories into the Ira muse, serenading every attentive heart. These woodlands are rich with tales of otherworldly inhabitants, fey folk that dance by moonlight, casting spells that shimmer like dew beneath your feet, and guardian spirits woven into the woodland tapestry. Tales tell of trees granting wisdom to worthy souls of consciousness, embedded deep within bark and root. You, with hands that shape the very wood beneath these words, sense such a connection, lingering knowledge bestowed upon those willing to listen. As you wander amidst the trunks draped with moss-like cloaked sages, folklore springs to life with every step. Glances catch playfully at the corner of your vision fleeting figures spun by imagination, shadows silhouetted against the foliage by sun's retreat. In this eternal twilight, each sound is amplified, each whisper catching at the periphery of perception, leaving you caught between reality and the fantastical. Local lore suggests certain trees hold unique powers, a core of enchantment reserved for the worthy. Rowan trees, with their red berries, are said to ward off malevolent spirits and provide protection to those who fashion their wood into tools or amulets. This gift of white wood lends itself to construction not just of form but of security, drawing from nature's own defenses. Historians still argue as to whether these beliefs are merely metaphorical constructs or if they have tangible roots. Is a rowan walking stick a symbol, a placeholder for collective safety? Or do these connections more deeply entwine with our ancestral psyche, guiding us with nature's hand? Beyond legends, the forest provides practical guidance as well. It is said that those who lose themselves in woods can navigate by the steadfast stars above, and the patterns of moss clinging to north-facing trunks pointers, gifted by the earth itself. Even in the search for timber, intuition guides you through the forest, teaching the rhythm that underlies the cycle of growth, life, and decay. Each lesson whispered, an awakening awareness. Your craft thrives upon this deep friendship with the forest. The wood you gather shapes lives and homes, a transformation as inquisitive as it is profound. Thus, you find yourself learning the language of the woods, the telltale signs of disease in bark, the optimal season for felling trees, and the subtle art of reaping without overstepping nature's bounty. The quaint village homes clad in timber draw upon this timeless well of resources, echoing the enduring bond between humankind and nature. Each structure becomes a tribute to the wisdom trees provide timeless mentors, whose teachings span generations. As dusk transforms into night, the forest becomes a silhouette against the deepening sky. The woodland orchestra resumes its nocturnal symphonia, cacophony of night creatures, and the wind's gentle lament. The path home sees your shadow merging with those of surrounding trees, a pilgrimage from which you return renewed, wisdom of the wood flowing like lifeblood through your veins. Familiar village lights twinkle in the distance, their glow a reminder of warmth and belonging. And as the forest recedes into silence behind you, you carry its enigmatic tales, inspirations born of leaves and living wood, seeding themselves into your dreams. As slumber claims your consciousness, your mind dances with enchanted groves and whispering boughs. Here, where imagination breathes in rhythm with nature, the bedtime tales spiral anew, coursing through the sacred pulse of the forest, invoking the eternal dance, entwining the spirit of the wood with the artistry of the soul, whispering promises to both creator and creation alike, held in harmony with the mighty, ancient heart of tomorrow's dawn. As the gentle glow of morning filters through the fog-laden streets, the village awakens, but an ominous heaviness lingers in the air unlike any other, thick with whispers of doom. The harbinger on everyone's lips, the Black Plague, a relentless spectre casting its shadow over everything, turning vibrant life into avenues of fear and questioning. For you, a medieval carpenter, existence becomes an even heavier burden, bound now to survival in ways not seen before. The plague moves silently through towns and villages, an invisible wave more destructive than any storm or war. Its grip on life tightens indiscriminately, cutting down artisans and peasants alike, upending the fragile balance that keeps society intact. The cacophony of village life is drowned in hushed conversations and worried glances, The once familiar sounds of hammers and saws muted by the miasma of uncertainty. Faced with the ever-present risk of contagion, your workshop becomes both refuge and reminder. The day-to-day rhythms persist, yet now exist against a backdrop that threatens to unravel it. A la tapestry that can unravel with a cough or a fever, symptoms that have come to possess more weight than the craft you hold dear. The trade route that once connected you with new materials and opportunities has stalled, severed by fear and cautious isolation. Supplies grow scarce, and your work adapts to this new scarcity, becoming increasingly dependent on resourcefulness. Those timber stocks you once took for granted become invaluable, each scrap utilized to its fullest potential, breathing necessity into innovation. The plague not only persists as a physical affliction, but also festers socially, fostering mistrust and anxiety within the community. Those who fall prey to its grip are ostracized, their families left isolated in a desperate attempt to stem its tide. The village, once a thriving epicenter of trade and camaraderie, feels haunted, not by malevolent spirits of old legends, but by a bodily pestilence that renders those stories almost quaint by comparison. Historians still argue whether these times of strife elucidated the worth of craftsmanship or merely highlighted the fragility of human endeavor. What is evident is how the medieval carpenter must adapt, crafting more than physical structures, now facilitating spaces for healing, for safety, and for the intangible pillar of hope that buttresses the soul. In the face of such adversity, your role becomes twofold: a crafter of necessity and of narrative. As you carve each beam, as you build and rebuild small mundanities of life, your actions narrate resilience taking, each breath as a refusal to succumb, each constructed piece a testament to life's persistence. Amidst the darkness, small flickers of community shine bright. Neighbors show solidarity, albeit from a safe distance, finding means to support one another through barter or small acts of kindness, a loaf of bread left at a doorstep, a tallow candle gifted in its warm embrace of flickering light. You spend these intermixed moments wrapped in humanity's instinctive desire for survival, an essence shared by your ancestor whose hands first fashioned wood into shelter. Wood, with its enduring strength, offers a reminder of life before, during, and on hopes after, across the inevitability of time. Under the pall-painted sky, you continue with your work, the craft becoming a refuge in its repetitive certainty, a haven for the mind amidst chaos, shaping each new day from the malleable clay of effort and will. And even as despair carves itself into furrows on the faces of many, the hum of creation persists. As dusk forms a cloak over the village, your mind journeys into contemplation, a lullaby of hammer strokes, a murmur of wind through trees. It paints a world not defined by the unnatural stillness of death, but by the vibrant memory of survival and rebirth, fueled by the inspiration of creation. And so, as you lay down to rest, your hopes tethered to the constellations above, you weave your dreams into the fabric of tomorrow, constructing not castles in sand, but the imperceptible cathedral of resiliences. Wood and heart both defy the clutches of fear, becoming the symphony that carries forth the whisper of endurance through time's inscrutable currents. In this intentional continuation, the story of a carpenter unfurls, navigating the dichotomy of challenge and perseverance, scripting hope in the language of possibility etched into the canvas of eternity. The cyclical nature of human endeavor ensures that even when darkness encroaches, the light of craftsmanship will continue to illuminate the path forward, one chisel stroke, one heart at a time. The morning dawns with an echo of industry in the air, as the metallic clangs and rhythmic din from the blacksmith's forge punctuate the village's heartbeat, mingling with the more organic, wooden sounds of your carpentry. In this medieval world, competition and camaraderie coexist within the artisan community, like the intertwining branches of a mighty oak. Among these relationships is the symbiotic connection with the blacksmith, a partnership forged in the heat of necessity and mutual respect. A medieval village prospers through its rich tapestry of trades, each dependent on the others, creating a patchwork quilt of skills and support. The blacksmith's role is pivotal, for in his forge lie the birth of tools essential to the delicate dance of carpentry. As you craft with wood, they shape the iron, giving life and utility to the chisels, saws, and nails that you rely upon daily. Every sharp edge and turning cog is a testament to another artisan's deft hand, a collaboration that transforms raw elements into precision instruments. Yet, alongside necessity runs the current of rivalry. It's an unspoken competitive dance, fostered by gazes exchanged across bustling market squares. Who will craft the most perfect tool or create the most stunning gate? These challenges drive improvement in practice and craft a playful rivalry that, over time, sharpens skills like the forging of steel within the blacksmith's fiery hearth. The blacksmith and the carpenter share tales and laughs, the smoke from the forge mixing with the sawdust-laden air of your workshop. But just as often, they exchange tips and skills, crossing the boundaries of their respective crafts. The blacksmith might know of a new way to anneal that strengthens the teeth of a fine saw, while you suggest methods of constructing a dependable wooden handle to withstand the hammer's wrath. Historians still argue whether this partnership was harmonious by nature or marred by professional envy. Was it a product of pragmatic necessity or driven by the entrepreneurial spirit? What is undeniable is the weaving together of mutual respect and resourcefulness, a testament to the power of collaboration that often goes unspoken yet remains profound. Very much like your craft, the blacksmith's life is a cacophony of sound and sweat, yet cloaked in an aura of mystery and mastery. Standing before the searing forge, where metal droplets dance like tiny stars amid coiling curls of smoke, they embody the very spirit of transformation. In those flames, raw iron becomes supple, molded with strength and intent, much like the wood under your chisel surrenders its form to your vision. Your exchanges with the blacksmith offer more than tools. They offer anecdotes, the texture of everyday life deepened by the practical wisdom shared between craftspeople. A jest about the ever-increasing weight of carts, or the demands of a particular client, provides moments of levity during high stakes, projects twinkles of humor that promise laughter over an evening shared at the Pold village inn, and in these small exchanges, protective alliances blossom. Should a cart buckle or a door hinge fail, the blacksmith is only a shout away, ready to lend the weight of hammer to your task. Their presence, steadfast and resolute in the face of metal's demands, offers reassurance and solidarity in moments of trial. As the day wears on, and you pause to wipe the sweat from your brow, you observe their artistry through the forge's hazered embers, flickering like captive fireflies. You recognize the integrity of their work, akin to your own, the narrative of craft woven into each hard-won achievement. Together, the carpenter and blacksmith sculpt the environment joint creators, shaping shared landscapes in iron and oak alike. By dusk, mutual understanding runs like a thread through the calm after labor, its golden glow illuminating the strides taken in both humility and pride. As the interconnectedness of skills and partnership settles once more over the slumbering village, your reflection suggests this entwining of trades creates the complex melody that resonates in permanency and opus beyond simple conveyance of goods. And so, amidst the fast-passing shadows cast by the waning sun, the bond between blacksmith and carpenter stands resilient in alliance, not only of materials and craft, but also of shared human experience, in which stories are forever forged alongside the tools that script them into the fabric of time. Life, as you lay your head to rest, these threads of partnership entwine gently with your dreams, reaffirming tomorrow's promise of coexistence, artistry, and kinship in the unwavering heart of medieval toil. As the morning light spills into your workshop, painting patterns across the tools and shavings, the omnipresent influence of the church looms over the village, a force that shapes not only spiritual beliefs, but also the very framework of your daily life as a medieval carpenter. In this era, the church's commandments serve as both a guiding light and a boundary. Casting long shadows of obligation and devotion, the church holds a position of profound authority, its presence reflected in every aspect of village existence, from the rhythm of the seasons to the tolling of bells marking the passage of time. This influence extends to your craft, often guiding projects and commissions, as ecclesiastical structures require the skills and expertise of craftsmen like you. The church itself, a monumental edifice of stone and timber, is a tribute to both divine inspiration and human ingenuity, standing like a beacon, spiritual and architectural marvel. Your work on such sacred buildings places you in the midst of a grand tapestry of faith and art, where the aesthetic intricacies convey theological concepts in wood, stone, and glass. Each carved pew, each arc of timber that supports vaulted ceilings, is a testament to the divine aspiration enshrined within earthly form. Your woodwork becomes a silent prayer etched into the heart of these hallowed places. Aside from these grand commissions, the expectations of the church penetrate deeply into your personal and communal life. Services punctuate the week, offering spiritual sustenance, but also dictating the pace of labor and rest. The observance of holy days marks pauses in the schedule, moments where chisels and saws are set aside in deference to ceremonies that involve the whole community, reminders of the shared beliefs binding your village together. Amidst this ever-watchful presence, the spiritual authority introduces another layer of demand, with tithes and offerings representing material burdens transformed into spiritual obligations. These contributions pay homage to both faith and order, reinforcing hierarchies as old as the stones themselves. The weight of these expectations, however, is balanced by the communal support provided by the church, offering solace in times of need, healing in times of illness, and guidance in moments of doubt. Historians still debate the church's role in medieval daily life, whether it genuinely enriched the craftsman's existence or simply imposed unrelenting pressure on an already arduous life. What seems clear is the dual nature of its command, both a support and a brace, with the consecrated space embodying life's totality, where every aspect is touched by edict, custom, or creedal conviction. Looming over this landscape, the ecclesiastical architecture serves as an enduring backdrop to the quotidian pulse of work and worship. In your craftsmanship, you find opportunities to translate faith into form, to embody ideals within wood, honoring stories that guide both spirit and society. Beyond the material confines of your craft, spiritual sensibilities extend subtly into everyday practice. The symbols of piety, engraved into wooden beams or delicately carved into altarpieces, speak an eloquent language of devotion, echoing the call of angelic choirs through sacred space, embodied in each careful chisel stroke. These practices speak volumes about the role of belief in shaping perspective's every groove and notch a reflection of the ineffable juxtaposed with human endeavor. As the day carries on and sunlight streams through the workshop windows, illuminating your labors, you pause to reflect on the sanctity etched into each crafted rendering. You acknowledge the profound role faith plays in your life, not solely as an external set of guidelines, but as an internal compass, continually orienting your path along the moral mosaic of medieval life. As twilight falls gently over thatched roofs and midnight prayers echo through the village, the boundaries between the earthly and the divine become intertwined. Your thoughts drift along pathways of reflection, tracing the contours of faith that frame each resolve, each artistic aspiration, and each breath ushered into your world, elevating woodwork into the shared hearth of creation. And when sleep finally claims you, the dreams cradle you in a gentle continuum, the divine and tangible entwined within sacred wood, promising hope and guidance amidst the whirls and grains of life's intricate weave. Through this connection, faith and craftsmanship are etched timelessly into the narrative fabric, as ancient and enduring as the mechanized swing of celestial spheres. As early rays of sunlight filter into your workshop, warming the wood and casting soft shadows, your thoughts rest upon the legacy of your crafter, legacy that, like the timber you work with, promises a life beyond your years. In a medieval world where permanence is rare, the mark you leave through carpentry extends far beyond the confines of the present, weaving itself into the fabric of generations. Each piece, crafted with care and intent, becomes a silent storyteller, narrating the chapters of its creation through the delicate grain of oak and the sturdy veneer of walnut. Whether it be a humble table or an ornate altarpiece, your work becomes an heirloom, cherished and safeguarded by those who recognize its worth. In these structures, your skills transform into the physical embodiment of continuity and tradition. The thought of crafting not merely for the moment but for posterity infuses your work with a spirit of dedication and pride. As the mallet strikes the chisel and the shavings flutter to the ground like autumn leaves, You are inherently aware that each groove you carve and every joint you fashion will echo your presence long after your own time has passed. In this way, carpentry affords you an uncommon immortality, each project poised to stand witness to subsequent eras, documenting changes and continuities in a world spun by time's steady hand. Consider the arched supports of a community's meeting hall, constructed with techniques passed down from ancestors themselves, guided by tradition. Time and resilience are preserved in these beams, reflective of both your skill and history's gentle whisper. The wood's subtle curve bears witness to the stories that have been shared beneath it, and will continue to harbour new one's friends, convening, pacts forged, life celebrated, all under the protection of your handiwork. As you shape a piece of furniture, another commission for a young couple, you become aware of how such intimate objects enter lives, becoming integral to the narrative of familial generations. That chair you're crafting may cradle both great joy and solemn sorrow, the tapestry of its history enriched by countless moments shared around its wooden embrace. Historians still argue on the role of craftsmen in shaping the cultural legacies left to future generations, balancing the touchstones of artistry against utilitarian necessity. What persists is your role, less the call of the individual and more the echo of collective craftsmanship marking the passage of life and time. Beyond the tangible is the intangible wisdom and knowledge embedded in your craft, cautious lessons and innovative strides gathered over decades. Apprentices come and go, absorbing care and skill through practiced ritual, a blend of technique and heart refined through teachings as much personal as professional. In entrusting your knowledge to them, the legacy of your craft transcends material form, instilling values of resilience, patience, and dedication, a memory trace birthed in your mentor's workshop now manifesting once more, and destined to be passed forward as cyclic as the seasons. As evening drapes its sable cloak across your village, you set down your tools with a contented heart. Each touch, each chiseled edge has been a dance of devotion, a gentle benediction to the enduring spirit of human creation. The sky, ignited with starry brilliance, cradles your contemplation. That life as a carpenter entwines the soul with forces greater than oneself, a duty to eternal artistry. In dreams, you see your work living on as a testament to delicate architecture, echoing not only your legacy, but resonating with the exploits and aspirations of those who bore hammer and saw through wood's yielding embrace. And as sleep enfolds you, the gentle caress of night carries the promise of your craft whispering gently through time's corridors, etching an everlasting legacy upon future hearts with the careful patience of a carpenter's hand. Through this enduring endeavor, the soul of medieval carpentry finds timeless expression beyond words or chronicles. The wood remembers. The wood persists, a legacy, as enduring and unyielding as the forest from which it once grew. As dawn unfurls its gentle glow across the landscape, a quiet air of mystery envelops your thoughts, pulling you toward the enigmatic remnants of the past historical puzzles that beckon to the curious and the scholarly alike. Deep within this medieval world of craftsmanship lies a tapestry of unsolved mysteries, each artifact a fragment of a bygone era's secrets, waiting patiently to be unraveled. Among these puzzles are the perplexing pieces that anchor themselves within the narrative of history. Abandoned structures stand with doorframes intricately carved yet oddly configured, inviting speculation as to their original purpose. Relics of wood and stone whisper tales, long since buried, inviting you to ponder the intentions and beliefs of those who shaped them. This is your place of fascination, a realm where carpentry and mystery converge to weave stories waiting to be retold. Imagine an ancient chest discovered in the corner of an old barn, its surfaces adorned with cryptic symbols that suggest rituals lost to time. The wood's faded patina speaks of hands worn smooth by devotion and routine, leaving you to wonder whether its secrets were carried through prayer or superstition. Each notch and groove becomes a clue, teasing the forethought of long-forgotten artisans, stirring the imagination to picture tools clicking and sounds echoing. Then there are the tapestries of wood enshrined in the hushed corridors of forgotten estates, their origins steeped in both fact and folklore. Some believe such relics to be enchanted protection rendered not just through beauty, but through imagined spells and oaths whispered during moonlit hours. Historians still puzzle over inscriptions carved into the wood, asking if they served as mere decoration or held meanings now lost in time's shadowed embrace. In the bustling world of market trades, the occasional artifact emerges an unfamiliar joinery, inexplicably precise, an adornment entirely out of place within its cultural context. These are the miraculous remnants of a resourceful world, perpetual testaments to human innovation, curiosity, and the grand mysteries that dwell just out of reach. Each piece hints at an interwoven narrative, awaiting careful study to illuminate pathways walked long ago. Your own workshop serves as both sanctuary and investigative space, where the faint echoes of history find a voice. By retracing the strokes of long-gone craftsmen, you engage in a dialogue that bridges centuries. A peculiar groove speaks its story under deft hands, revealing techniques the ancients understood deeply and applied with grace. Each whisper of sawdust, a fragment of an incomplete puzzle. Occasionally, scholarly debates ignite within the village, for few mysteries hold power like those woven from the threads of human hand. Theories flourish in alehouses and among academia, each suggestion enticing a cohort of believers and skeptics. Did early carpenters wield talents transcending modern understanding, or are such puzzles proof of evolving interpretations and the artistry of illusion? Each trip through these corridors of forgotten knowledge serves as a testament to the enduring enchantment of history's enigmas. The promise of discovery captures the resilience of those who dare to chase shadows and carve whispers into the annals of understanding. The voyage from woodworker to detective spins the heart anew, a passion ignited by the untold stories hidden just beneath the surface. And so, as the day drifts peacefully into night, you find solace amid this wondrous interplay of mystery and craft, the historic and the forgotten entwining with the present. The world now sleeps under a celestial canopy, the sky itself an unsolved riddle, unfurling silently above. In dreams, these mysteries become vibrant tapestries unraveled under star-kissed skies. As the tide of time carries you gently forth, your thoughts follow the stories yet unspoken, waiting like ancient spectres entangled within the wooder, reminder that while answers slip like mist through grasping fingers, their pursuit persists in echoing the eternal quest for knowledge. And thus, the silent allure of ancient mysteries continues to cast its spell, a timeless song, interwoven with the dreams of every craftsman, every carpenter, cradled by the gentle embrace of history's ever-whispering promise. In the end, the unsolved resonates not in conclusion, but in the journey, the adventure of unearthing narratives spun by those who came before, weaving aspirations through a time yet to come. As the sun casts its first golden rays over the village rooftops, your thoughts venture into the horizon of time, contemplating the future echoes of a carpenter's legacy and the evolution that carries craftsmanship beyond medieval days. Standing at the cusp of past and present, you sense the whisper of tomorrow's advancements, woven into the sinew of your craft and evolution, that will one day render today's challenges as stepping stones toward ingenuity's progression. With each sunrise, the world inches closer toward inevitable change, where whispers of innovation breathe life into new techniques that transform how wood is shaped and tools are wielded. Centuries hence, carpentry will evolve with speed and complexity, punctuated by inventions epoch-defining in their magnitude, saw-powered machines, intricate joinery refined by technology that processes timber with the precision of eagles' wing beats across the heavens. You imagine future workshops spacious and filled with tools beyond current reckoning that render human hands a companion to mechanized prowess. Ideas that today seem fantastical, like engineered gears smoothly turning with mathematical perfection, will become reality, nudging carpentry toward unexplored frontiers. The craftsman of tomorrow, apprenticed in both art and technology, took poised to craft with methods both traditional and avant-garde, harmonizing heart and machine. The anticipation of these future echoes brings with it questions and promises. Will these innovations preserve the heart of craftsmanship, or isolate it from the human touch? Historians still argue whether technology will ultimately enhance creativity or awaken challenges to the soul's intimate bond, with the craft a passionate debate perpetually shaping the discourse of time. This transformative horizon of carpentry evolution aligns communities in interconnected networks of shared knowledge, transcending geographical boundaries and drawing inspiration from collective progress. Imagine tools such as the internet and intricate web-spinning connections across vast distance twine, fellow artisans in mutual learning and shared inventiveness, their conversations no longer limited by space or perception. In your own workshop, these ideas ripple across the grain, fiercely stitching the present to the aspirations of the future. It is here that innovation births a promise of inclusion, granting access not solely to those within established circles, but broadening the craft to encompass diverse voices and rich cultural tapestries, unfurling in vibrant expression. Will the silent shadows housed in once-forgotten manuscripts illuminate new narratives? Will they chart courses through strange techniques revitalized by those yearning for legacy built on stories of resilience and endeavor carved from raw timber? These questions merge with the aspirations of emerging generations' young hands, eager to learn from the past while embracing tomorrow's possibilities. From new apprentices bound by curiosity's flame to seasoned craftsmen eager to adapt, the community finds its core in resilience to change, its lasting traditions interwoven with innovation as the heart of carpentry beats eternal. And as twilight bows to embrace the village in its nocturnal mantle, your soul holds fast to its dreams' visions, imbued with the intertwining of past, present, and future. In dreams, you walk with the carpenters of old through workshop corridors both archaic and futuristic, together crafting a world harmonized by heart and mind. As the celestial canopy frames your aspirations, sleep enfolds you, carrying forth whispers of future promises and mysteries unsolved, the crescendo of history's embrace that promises the enduring endurance of craft. Within this unity of ingenuity, creativity, and timeless journey, echoes of the future find their rhythm in the resilience of the present, matching step for step with the rings grown within ancient wood. Here, possibility unfurls its tapestry, woven from the countless dreams of craftsmen reaching endlessly toward tomorrow's gentle dawn. In this infinite expansion, the soul of carpentry perseveres, encompassing the evolution of ages in timeless song, the promise of new beginnings, as resonant with joy as the first awakening of an artisan's dream. Wood and craft, never mere relics of a moment, transcend boundaries both seen and unseen, forever charting the skilled heart of creation's steady timeline. As twilight gently wraps itself over the village, an air of quiet contemplation settles in, offering a moment's pause. You reflect on the thankless existence of a medieval carpenter, where every splinter and stroke testifies to a life of perseverance and quiet dignity. For in your hands, the humble wood transforms it is a testament to both the earth's bounty and the spirit's resilience. Despite the worn paths trodden daily, there lies an unseen poetry in your crafter tapestry, woven from the many strands of human endeavor, spun lovingly into each facet of your world. The journey it has been, across the whispers of workshops, the lively market banter, the calluses earned through effort, and the gentle elegance gifted by creation itself. The life of a carpenter unfolds as a narrative far beyond the tangible. Each chiseled piece, every polished surface, becomes a thread in the complex fabric of history, reverberating with stories of lives touched and communities nurtured. Though recognition often eludes, your contributions remain an integral chorus to humanity's songa, refrain interwoven within the timbers of civilization's growth. As night deepens, a calm serenity embraces you, the thrum of existence slowed to a tranquil hum. The village, now cloaked in starlight, breathes deeply in the shared silence of rest. With eyes closed, the echoes of your day soften to reflection, memory fusing with dreams where each heartbeat lulls the mind towards slumber. In this tapestry of quietude, the wood recounts its tales, the carved knots whispering of journeys past and promises yet to come. Each artifact touched by your hands holds within it humanity's pulsy reminder that the grandeur of life resides not in ostentatious displays, but in the quiet moments of connection felt among craftsmen, kin, and community. The starry vault above, with its twinkling constellations tracing harmonious arcs across the heavens, offers reassurance in the cosmos's enduring cycle. The firmament reflects the interconnectedness of time, space, and soul constellations and mortals spun together in celestial eternity. As the blanket of sleep wraps snugly around you, the gentle song of nocturnal stillness becomes a lullaby reminder of the simple truth that this life, though thankless in ways, enriches and provides. For, in the quiet shaping and earnest striving, you have crafted not only with wood, but with love patiently carving beauty from life's raw material. And so, let the hum of the centuries' passage wash over you, comforting as the hands that smoothed countless beams before you. The dreams now weave themselves seamlessly into your soul's tapestry, promising renewal and the awakening of yet another dance of hope, unfurling with the morning light. In this gentle space of evening reverie, the breath of time exhales peace. Rest easy, dear soul, knowing your journey echoes infinitely an unyielding testament to the heart imbued within your craft. Here, in the softest whispers of the night, the wood's last sigh serenades you, easing the spirit toward the awaiting dawn. Sweet dreams.